singing, we will rock you.
Hi, I'm Denny Mclain. Good morning on this fine Sunday.
And I'm Ron Cameron. Welcome to another edition of Sports Talk.
Well, the Tigers are done. Jimmy Leland is back, and spring training, folks, starts in 109 days. How about that?
Your prediction went down the drain in the World Series.
I'll let you know when you can talk.
Well, I just said it. I'll say it again. Your prediction went down.
Terry Foster from the Detroit News and 97.1 is here to talk about the Tigers and their lack of response to a World Series. The Lions are trying to roar. And the NHL decides they don't want to play hockey. They want to play something else. And lastly, our questions from the audience again, and I hope the questions are as good as they were last week.
Yeah, they were good last week.
They were sensational. But first, the Tigers. Jimmy Leland is back. I was told he was going to get a 3-year deal by somebody in the Tiger organization, but I also was told that he was offered a 3-year deal, and he wants to keep himself a little bit of independence and stay exactly where he is 1 year at a time.
Nothing wrong with that at his age.
No, of course not. I mean, and he only smokes how many packs a day? 12,
6.
14 packs a day of cigarettes? I mean, I don't know how he does it. I really don't. They're talking about Sanchez. They're talking about him going to Toronto. Toronto, allegedly.
They need him badly, Toronto.
Everybody needs a good pitcher.
Yeah.
Here's my point with Sanchez. He's less than a 500 pitcher. I don't know what all the excitement is. You know, this guy.
Pitching's bad in baseball today, Denny. That's why.
This guy in 3 or 4 years in the big leagues has already made $14 or $15 million, and he hasn't won.
Yeah.
He's under 500. It's like Scherzer. I look at Scherzer's statistics, and they talk about, you know, people were saying that he was the #1 pitcher on the ball club for a while. I said, come on now. There's two kinds of classes in horse racing. The secretariats and then the rest of them. And Scherzer fits in the rest of them as far as pitchers go. Do you realize 32 starts this year, and Scherzer averaged 5.5 innings per game?
That's not getting it done.
Porcello, less than that. My point is, they talk about all this pitching talent. Where the hell is it?
Well, they're good pitchers. I think Scherzer on the right ball club, not in this ball club when you have 3 statues in the infield. He's going to be a good pitcher with that sinker baller. He's a sinker ball pitcher. He needs to go to a team with a rangy shortstop and some range in the infield. He'll win more games.
You don't think our shortstop is good?
I think he's a statue. He's terrible. He's got good hands if you hit it to him.
Every shortstop has got good hands if you hit it to him.
But you got to have range, and he has not. It took him 6 months to go in the hole to make 1 play this year, and that was in the playoffs. 1 play in the hole.
Do you have any idea how fast Major League Baseball is when you actually play the game?
Yes.
Do you have any idea?
I look at a guy that is old enough to be his father that came in and played. The 47-year-old came in, made 2 plays in the hole that all year Peralta's not made those plays in the hole. Not once.
Who? Name the guy. I want to hear it.
Omar Vizquel. 47
Omar
years.
Vizquel.
Yes. He goes in the hole behind third base to make 2 plays. Peralta doesn't know where that hole is.
Well, I got news for you. If they don't trade Porcello, they're going to wind up with another Bonderman because Porcello will never be the big league pitcher they think he's going to be. I believe, this is just a ridiculous prediction somebody's going to think.
It is.
I believe Porcello's gone this winter. I really believe he's gone.
Better for him, too.
It'll give him a better chance to pitch with a club. We're going to get a real good pitcher in here, and hopefully the same thing doesn't happen with him that happens to Bonderman.
Okay,
that was awful.
Let's look at a couple of people who are saying Mickey Cabrera should be here. The guy that was suspended. Milky Cabrera. Milky. And I think that's a stretch. I'd like that.
The guy was only hitting 350.
I know, but look what he did before he was in the Yankees. It was awful.
Listen, everybody becomes a better hitter when you take that juice.
Yes.
I mean, and he took the juice.
Well, now he's off the juice, supposedly.
Well, now we'll find out if he can really play. Everybody who ever came off the juice never performed well after that. Yeah. They never, ever did. I still think they should just legalize all the juice and move on.
Oh,
I really do believe that.
I like Pagan. Pagan was not picked up the option San Francisco. He's a good outfielder. He can run and he can hit. And you need speed in the outfield in Detroit.
But you got 10 outfielders right now, that number one, I don't know which one can play. You caught
Dirk's
a little.
a pretty good player.
Who? Dirks did a pretty good job. He hit well over 300. You got the kid in center field. He hit 300.
He had a good year.
So you've got 2/3 of your infield, except Dirks cannot. Yeah, outfield. Except Dirks cannot play every day. That's going to be a real problem. When we come back here, we're going to talk to Terry Foster from the Detroit News. Welcome back. I'm Denny Mclain, of course. Ron Cameron is off having lunch, so he won't be with us. But Terry Foster is here from the Detroit News. He's also on 97.1 every day from 2 to 6. Does a hell of a job. I mean, when it comes to talk show guys in this town, you're probably the best.
I don't know about the best. I just want to be in the top 5. But, it's probably better that Ron is not here.
It probably
We can get
is.
some work done here.
We'll get a question. We'll get more than one question
Yeah,
answered.
absolutely.
Let's start with the Tigers. Your impressions of what just happened, because it's kind of a humiliating thing when you talk about all of the great things this club was supposed to do.
But you know what? It's kind of funny. The Tigers won their division. They go to the World Series, and the only word I can think of is disappointment. I was disappointed in the regular season because I thought clearly they're the best team in that division. And why are you 3 games behind the White Sox with 16 to go? So now you turn it on. You get into the playoffs. You beat the Yankees. You sweep them. You beat the A's, and all of a sudden, bam! The power just went out. And this city deserves another championship. Mike Ilitch deserves another championship. I mean, when you saw him out there, he couldn't even hoist the trophy when they won the American League Trophy. You at least like to win it for him because he's putting all this money and effort in it. It's time for the Tigers to win a title. They got to do it next year.
Yeah, he's always done the right thing with the ball club. But with talking about the ball club, in these playoff games and in the World Series, we weren't playing Cleveland. We weren't playing Kansas City and Chicago and which one did I miss? Minnesota.
But disappointing, they were losing to Kansas City and Minnesota, until the last few weeks.
But that's my point. But that's who we had to play at the end. Now, listen, it's not their fault that they got to play those teams. That's just the way the schedule's drawn up. But, I mean, you could see, at least I could see a dramatic difference between those 4 teams and the San Francisco Giants. I mean, I was really impressed with San Francisco.
San Francisco Giants play baseball the way it's supposed to be played, hitting the cutoff man. Even when you miss the cutoff man, there's the backup guy there. They play good defense. Not a great hitting team, but they make timely hits. And it seems like the Tigers, I saw this all the time, leaning over, chasing bad pitches. To me, the Tigers, they want to hit the 3-run home run every time they come up to the plate. It doesn't work that way.
See, that's the only criticism I had of Jimmy all year long, and I've known Jimmy 100 years. I think he's one of the better managers in baseball. He knows his personnel, and I'll tell you, one of the places that I thought we failed was that when it really got down to crunch time, knowing that we had a bunch of AA and AAA players playing on a rotating basis, we didn't go out and find a guy to stabilize the club in late August or September. I thought that was a mistake. They needed somebody in the outfield to stabilize the ball club in one of those positions.
They did, but I kind of wonder if they had run out of money, or if Mike Ilitch said, we're not going to go any further. So, you put a guy like, Garcia out there. You hope that, Quentin Berry gets hot or something like that. I think it came down to a hope and a prayer. But, the thing that disappointed me, what did Cabrera and Fielder do? Fielder hit 171 or something like that in the World Series, and those are your guys. It's sort of like in the NBA. You put Michael Jordan in the finals and he scores 15 points. Well, you're going to lose.
You got to lose.
And this is exactly what happened with Fielder and Cabrera.
Yeah, there's one thing that people, I think, found out about if they really watched the game was if you pitch good hitters hard inside, you're going to get them more than they're going to get you. And that really was obvious during that, because all of a sudden both of these guys are trying to protect the inside, Fielder and Cabrera, and all of a sudden these guys had pretty good breaking balls. All the pitchers with San Francisco had better than an average breaking ball. That's what's impressed me about their pitching staff. And obviously what you just said about everybody playing defensively, moving a man around, stealing a base, doing the right thing at the right time, timely hitting, it all contributes. Let's talk about the name of the day right now is Sanchez. I can't believe, first of all, he's made almost $15 million in his career so far.
Big money.
Without any significant hoopty-la, right?
Right.
Now, I read a story the other day that Toronto was thinking about offering him a 5-year deal, $75 million, and the guy lifetime in the major leagues is under 500. What the hell is going on?
Well, first of all, if they're offering that, see ya. I'm not going to compete with you on that one. But Denny, the thing that kills me about baseball, a guy can just kind of, muddle around, not be real good, have a nice 3 or 4 weeks, and all of a sudden, he's a top priority. To me, a corner outfielder is more of a priority than Sanchez. I would take my chances. If someone is offering even $12 million a year, take my chances with Porcello. Work with him. He could at least be a 500 pitcher, which he's been above that. Now, I don't know if you trust him in the postseason, but that's way too rich for my blood. And if Toronto offers that, I guarantee you they're going to be trying to get out of that contract.
Let me ask you the one thing that I scream at the radio when I listen once in a while, and I'll send you a text once in a while.
Yes, you do.
The thing that bothers me about our broadcasters in town once in a while is that they start talking about the money, like you just said, I'll go to $12 million, what have you. It's not your money. It's not my money. If they want to go to $40 million, who cares?
Well, I think the point is if you go a certain amount with Sanchez, whomever, you can't sign someone else. And I guess my problem, or what I'm trying to convey is, let's allocate it somewhere because and this is what, Illich and everybody at the end of the season, they have a budget. Right. And sometimes they go a little bit above, but if you sign someone like this, you're not going to be able to get some real help that you need on this team.
There's 2 pitchers here, Porcello you just named, and the other guy is Scherzer.
Yes.
Scherzer, in all of his starts this year, this is what's hard to believe. With this kind of stuff, he's averaging like 5.7 innings a ball game, and Porcello is averaging 5.6 innings a ball game. For that kind of ability, and I don't think Porcello, I think Porcello is going to fall into the same hoop as Bonderman did. It's going to be too late when they finally decide that he's not going to be a big league pitcher.
Right.
And I suggest that that's a guy that they use for bait this winter to see what they can do. Get a Soriano, get somebody like that. But they got to fill up a hole or two, and these 2 guys got to step up. Scherzer, he goes out there and strikes out 10 and 5 1/3, 5 2/3. But he's not around when it counts. The game is after the 6th inning.
Correct, but I think when you look at Scherzer, if you look at his numbers, he'll go 3 weeks where he is around after the 7th inning. And what brings that average down, then he'll go 4 innings, 5 innings, 4 innings, and so it's the inconsistency with him. And I've seen him, I thought for a time, this is the best pitcher in baseball. And then he comes back 2 weeks later, he's just one of the guys.
He has his moments.
You got to be consistent, and he always, we've talked to him about that. He says my confidence is always high and all this kind of stuff. It just seems to kind of come and go.
What are they going to do about second base? And the other question I have is catching. Infante, he can't play 162 games.
No, they're going to have to get a backup. I mean, I don't think you have Ramon Santiago. And he didn't do the job this year. I mean, Santiago should be a solid backup. So I think they're going to have to get another second baseman. Do you bring back Gerald Laird? Or, Victor Martinez is coming back. He can play catcher. Now, he's only done it maybe like 15, 20 games a season. So there's an option there. But now you got to decide on Laird, too.
How about Avila? What do you think?
Alex Avila definitely took a step back. And I thought he was going to be one of the fresh faces of the Tigers and everything, but he just seems confused out there. But the thing I wonder about Avila is behind the plate, he gets banged up more than anybody in the league, it seems. I don't know why.
I know.
I kind of wonder why. Well, you tell me. It seems like he kind of.
He moves his head. He moves his head. When somebody swings at the ball, his head moves. It doesn't move like this. It just moves a little bit. And as long as it moves, you're not going to be able to catch the ball on a consistent basis. And you're going to get banged up. God, have you ever seen anybody get banged up like this in your life?
No, and that's the confounding thing. And I think that does affect him at the plate. He has his moments. I mean, once again, a couple of years ago, he was great. And now all of a sudden, it's like he's getting injured all the time. And I think that plays into it.
Last question. Were you surprised that Jimmy only took a 1-year deal and not a 3?
No, I think that's what he wants. He wants a 1-year deal. My understanding is they wanted him for 3 years, but Jim Leland just, he's 67. Hey, I'm take it or leave it at the end of the year, so it's not a surprise. But I am glad he's back, though.
I am too. He knows the personnel, and he'll do the right thing, and they'll come back and they'll have a winning season. God only knows if somebody else will get well. I appreciate you coming by,
All right,
big boy.
as long
Good
as
to
your
see
man,
ya.
you too, as long as he's not putting Ryan Rayburn in the lineup every day, we'll be okay with
Oh,
him.
man, I got a couple more I can put on that list, too.
Of course.
Terry Foster, thank you very much. We'll be
bet,
right
man.
back in a minute. All right, our streaking Lions. First of all, Spivey and Delmas are still hurt. Best is still out. I don't know
I think
what
he's
they're going to
done.
do for a running game.
I
He may
think
be
he
done.
may be done for his career.
He may absolutely be done. But they brought in a guy by the name of Mike Thomas from the
Yeah,
Jaguars,
yeah.
of all teams that were playing the same team. What do you know about Mike Thomas?
He's an all-right receiver. He's got a couple of 50-yard catches, so he's not that bad. But if he was that good, Jacksonville would keep him because they're awful.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I don't get. He caught 13 passes this year for them, and then I think in his whole career he's only caught 150 passes.
For 3 years, though.
But what people have to realize, there's one thing going on with the Lions that doesn't happen in a lot of other sports. Every day, the Lions probably get people in to work out.
Oh, yeah.
Kickers, ends, quarterbacks, whatever it might be. So there's an awful lot of action always going on at Old Ford Town up there. And I only hope, I really do hope that they can win 10, 11 games this year.
No,
Danny,
no.
But they continue to be a one-dimensional team. I say that every week between Stafford and Johnson, although Johnson was not
done
very
well,
effective
no.
last week. But you know
I
what?
saw the stats, Denny. Listen to this. I saw the stats, and Johnson was rated something like 20th in receivers as far as production this year.
They're not getting the ball to him.
They have not gotten one touchdown pass, except the one touchdown pass they did get was from the backup quarterback.
That's not his fault. It's the coaching staff. It's the head coach's fault. You got to get the ball to Johnson. If Johnson doesn't get the ball, you will not be a 500
you will
football
not-
team
no.
this year. Now,
They won't be a 500 football. They might be 500.
Yeah,
But they're not going to be your 10, 11 games, Denny. No way.
I'm telling you, they're going to win 10 or 11 games.
No,
If they can find some kind of a running game. The NHL, they've
If.
done it again. They have decided to cancel just about everything at this point in time. The big classic that
It's
we were
going to be
supposed
announced.
to have,
Yeah,
now
announced.
it's gone.
It's gone.
Lots of money gone. The city of Detroit, the metro area, gone. I don't know what these people are thinking of. The players, if you believe what we hear, they've been offered 50% of the income.
Take it and shut up.
And they did not take it. Listen, with all due respect, got a lot of good friends in the hockey world and a lot of good friends that are good hockey players, were former great hockey players. But you know what? Hockey, except in the city of Detroit, is a minimal interest sport around the country.
And doing this is slaps them in the face.
Exactly. People do not pay a lot of attention. You remember the craziness that went on when baseball stayed out and the walk-ups and
the hockey last time.
And the hockey the last time. Folks, you're going to create something worse than you did last time if you guys don't get back to the table and get this deal done. There's going to be fewer and fewer seats.
And shame on the NHL, and shame on Gary Bettman, and shame on this Bengrag that they got is the Players Association.
Spit it out, big boy.
Donald Fear. Shame on them all.
Spit it out, big boy.
I got him, baby.
And also one other example. One other example of what's going on in hockey. The Carolina Hurricanes. They've got some kind of a movement over there that a lot of the season ticket holders are canceling their tickets now.
Mm-hmm.
Those who are keeping them are being paid 5% interest on the money for the tickets, and they're going to give them 10% discounts in the next 2, 3, 4 years
Let's
to
talk
hang on to the
in closing
tickets.
this segment about the Pistons. Now, I went to the opener. This is going to be an interesting
You'll
season.
go anywhere there's free food.
I will go anywhere there's free food. It is free at the Pistons, not the other places. I say this, the Pistons will finish at or right around just about 500 this year. They have a chance to make the playoffs. I don't know that they will. They were 500 the second half of last year. It's a good young team, but they got a long way to go. Growing pains, a lot of growing pains on this team.
Do they have any ability inside, number one?
Yeah, with Drummond if he wakes up.
And secondly, is anyone going to come to the basketball games and sit in those empty seats that were so prominent? You know, they reported 16,000 fans the other night
No,
at the
they didn't.
basketball team. 16,000.
There were 7,000 people there at best.
16,500 they reported. Now they're trying to tell us that they sold 10, 12, 14,000
Okay,
season
where
tickets.
were they?
Where were they? That's exactly right.
You don't go to the opener. What's wrong? You don't go to the
Baseball,
opener?
football, hockey, you all go to the opener if you've got tickets.
That's right.
The place was anywhere near full.
It was embarrassing.
And, you know, the Pistons have just done a bad job. By the way, forget the talent on the team. You guys just did and I don't want to disparage Joe. I love Joe. But the thing about it, the Pistons did such a bad job promoting the team this winter. It's been awful. We haven't heard anything about you guys. We haven't heard a word about what's going on out there. You guys got to get on the ball and let people know what's going on with the basketball team. It is great entertainment. I love going out there. But
yeah, listen, the one thing about the NBA, the power's in the West. The East is weak. That's why the Pistons could sneak in, maybe, that number 8 position.
But he'll keep going because the food's free. We'll be right back
what about
with
you?
questions.
We can talk about that.
Questions. We're back with our last segment, and this is where we have our audience here ask us questions. And you're more than welcome to come on down here every Friday to see the taping of the show. Sir, your name and where are you from?
My name's Sid Allen, and I'm from Taylor. Love your show, Denny, Ron.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a comment and a question. First, a comment. I've been watching your show and watched your predictions. First, you said that the Tigers would win in 5, and they got swept.
I was
Then you
wrong.
said on Monday Night Football that the Bears would blow us out, and it was a close game. Then last week, you said the Seahawks... that the Lions would blow out the Seahawks.
Not me.
Ron said that he predicted the Seahawks would be a close game because they were at home. I know that. But given your predictions in the last few weeks, Denny, I'm wondering if they should change the top billing to the Ron Cameron show.
Go get him, guys.
Let me give you a prediction. You know how you get off the stage and watch the next guy come up.
Okay, buddy. I'm sorry. I do have a question, though. And that you mentioned that you didn't feel that Andy Dirks could play every day. And the Tigers have been looking for an outfielder. I'm wondering, do you think that they've given up on Brennan Bosch completely? And there's been some talk about Torrey Hunter at 37 years old, maybe getting him as a free agent.
Get Torrey up here for a year or two. But Bosch, I think they're going to give every opportunity to in spring training. And if he's not able to do it in spring training, of course, you're going to bring somebody else in. Yes, sir. Your name and where you're from?
Jim Brandon from East Detroit High School. I had a question for you, Denny. I was wondering if you could tell me who your favorite coach or manager was and what he did to motivate your career.
The two guys were Mayo Smith and Charlie Dressen. Johnny Saint, of course, was our pitching coach, but both guys taught more parts of the psychological part of the game because that's the toughest part of the game for a lot of guys.
Mayo was underrated, wasn't he?
Mayo was totally underrated. Listen, the years that Mayo was here, he finished second, first, second, and I think third or fourth. That's a hell of a record that very few have approached. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm the Tom from Royal Oak that Jimmy Leland was talking about the other day.
You are? Hey, Tom, all right.
Can you speak about how Major League Baseball has taken over the playoff pricing and how a $14 ticket in K-Line's corner costs $2.25 for the World Series?
Isn't that
Without
ridiculous?
K-Line.
I am telling you, I think it's disgusting. Baseball's gone over the line like football, basketball, and everybody else
You're right.
now. They show no conscience for the ordinary fan.
No, they can't get
ordinary fans cannot go there. I mean, and the scalping was $1,000, $1,500 a ticket. I mean, it's been crazy.
In
and
30-degree weather, Denny, too.
Well,
in the World
we
Series.
can't do anything. You know, there's a bigger guy than all of us that takes care of the weather,
Where is
so we
he?
can't blame him. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Zach Nevedoff from East Detroit High
Hi,
School.
Zach.
And I was wondering how you feel you would have pitched if you pitched in today's game.
Well, I think, with all due respect, I think we'd be just as successful. I believe that no matter what era you play in, you're going to win if you've got some ability. And the guys I played with, the K-Lines, the Cashes, the Dick McCulloughs, the Billy Freehands, the Willie Hortons,
Northrop.
guys like that, Northrop, they were great players. They knew how to play the game. Additionally, we played together for a long time in the minor leagues and then into the big leagues for 5 or 6 years. And when you play with guys like that for an extended period of time, you learn each other's moves. You know what the other guy can do when things really get intense and things get tight. And you always know who you can depend on. I mean, listen, when we really had a tough time and we knew K-Line was coming up, we weren't worried. He was going to do something. And it was, even if he made an out, it was right. It was the right thing to do, move a guy along, bunt a guy along.
You said you'd win today, Denny, but you wouldn't win 30 games again today with the way they do the staffs.
No,
There's
it's,
no way
it's a
you could.
different game
There'll never
today.
be a 30-game winner again.
It's
ever
a
in
total
baseball,
different
folks,
game
ever.
today. I mean, there's just no way. Well, it's like we said earlier in the show, you got Scherzer who pitches 5.2 innings a game. I mean, and other guys pitching less than that, and they're major league starters making $10, $12 million a
Look at
year.
the pitch count.
Oh, my God. Yes, sir.
Mike Deck from Roseville.
Hi, Mike.
I understand a lot of esoteric and occult concepts, but could you explain backward pitching to me?
Backward pitching?
Yeah, I've heard you use it. I've heard
you said that before.
You mean when a
Many
ball
people-
backs up? Is that
No, I think you mean pitching.
Oh, the
one guy.
pitching
Yeah, the
backwards.
pitching-
Okay.
yeah, pitching backwards.
When you get a guy, no balls and two, let's say, and Verlander's the best example. Remember the perfect game he had going in the ninth inning? He's got one out, nobody on. He throws two fastballs by a guy, and I mean the guy wasn't even close, not even close to hitting either pitch. Yeah. And all of a sudden, something happens up here. He short circuits. Hang on, and he throws him a high changeup with an 0-2 count in a perfect game, folks. You get a guy 0-2, and you guys here from the East High School, when you get a guy in the hole, 0-2, you go get him. You don't throw him a curveball. You don't throw him a changeup. You throw him another hard fastball. Keep the ball inside. You'll get him out 90% of the time.
Hey, we're out of time, but you can tune me in on WDFN this afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m. on AM 1130, and we'll see you next week on Sports Talk.